Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's all turn to the book of Acts. The book of Acts, chapter 12. Starting in verse 1. Acts chapter 12, starting in verse 1, it says, "Now about that time Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto God for him. And when Herod would have brought him forth the same night, Peter was sleeping between 2 soldiers, bound with 2 chains. And the keepers before the door kept the prison. And behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shined in the prison, and he smote Peter on the side, and raised him up, saying, Arise up quickly. And his chains fell off from his hands. And the angel said unto him, Gird thyself, and bind on thy sandals. And so he did. And he said unto him, Cast thy garment about thee, and follow me. And he went out and followed him, and wist not that it was true which was done by the angel, but thought he saw a vision. And when they were past the first and the second ward, they came unto the iron gate that leadeth into the city, which opened to them of his own accord, and they went out and passed on through one street, and forthwith the angel departed from him. And when Peter was come to himself, he said, Now I know of a surety that the Lord hath sent his angel, and hath delivered me out of the hand of Herod, and from all the expectation of the people of the Jews. And when he had considered the thing, he came to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose surname was Mark, where many were gathered together praying. And as Peter knocked on the door of the gate, a damsel came to hearken, named Rhoda. And when he knew Peter's voice, she opened not the gate for gladness, but ran in, and told how Peter stood before the gate. And they said unto her, Thou art mad. But she constantly affirmed that it was even so. Then said they, It is his angel. But Peter continued knocking. And when he had opened the door, he saw him. They were astonished. But he, beckoning unto them with the hand to hold their peace, declared unto them how the Lord had brought him out of the prison. And he said, Go show these things unto James and to the brethren. And he departed and went into another place. Now, I like this chapter because it's full of stuff. I mean, first of all, it's like Herod was seeking out to vex certain of the church, and so a lot of the Jews, they didn't like that because it was messing up their religion. And the religion was that a lot of the people they were worshiping other gods. The word Easter here, this wasn't talking about the resurrection of Christ. This was talking about a totally different God. And so, anyway, it pleased the Jews that Herod was seeking after certain of the Christians and killing them. So Peter was kept in prison. And so the angel of the Lord It said in verse 7, behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shined in the prison, and he smote Peter on the side, and raised him up, saying, arise up quickly. And his chains fell off from his hand. So his chains fell off from his hands, and so the angel said, gird thyself, bind on thy sandals, and so he did. And so he said, cast thy garments about thee, and follow me. And so Peter said, okay, I'll follow you, and he just kind of, and all these gates, or the doors of the prison, there was, like an inward prison and an outward prison, and all of these were actually guarded by guards. And so he said, so in verse 9 it says, and he went out and followed him, and wist not that it was true, which was done by the angel, but he thought he saw a vision. When they were past the first and the second ward, they came unto the iron gate that leadeth unto the city, which opened to them of his own accord. And they went out and passed on through one street, and where forthwith the angel departed from them. So they just kind of walked out. The guards didn't see him. I mean, he should have been as plain as day. Hey, I'm walking out now, and just following the angel of the Lord, And so went all the way out, went into the streets of the city, and it's like where everybody should have seen him. And the gate opened to them of his own accord. The gate opened of its own accord. It was like minding, even the gate was minding the Lord. And so in verse 11 it says, when Peter was come to himself, he said, now I know of a surety that the Lord hath sent his angel, and hath delivered me out of the hand of Herod, and from all the expectation of the people of the Jews. So then, he comes to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose surname was Mark, and Peter starts knocking on the door, and so, there was a damsel that came to hearken named Rhoda, and so she's answering the door, and she knew Peter's voice, but she didn't open the gate. Instead, she ran inside and said, hey, there's someone, Peter's here. It's like, and so they said, and this isn't Peter, this is his angel, he's dead, It's like, and so meanwhile, Peter's, kind of still knocking here, It's like somebody opened the door, and I find it quite funny. And so, 16, verse 16 says, but Peter continued knocking. And when they opened the door and saw him, they were astonished. And so then he says, but he, beckoning unto him, them with a hand to hold their peace, declared unto them how the Lord had brought him out of the prison. And he said, go show these things unto James and to the brethren. And he departed and went into another place. And so, the Lord actually helped Peter out of the prison, mainly because he had faith. And but the Lord had plans for Peter. And most of the Jews, these were supposed to be God's people, but they weren't. So anyway, I think that this was an interesting story because it's a truism, and plus it shows exactly how much faith Peter had, how much faith the church had, and so we ought to be just like that. It's like with faith we can move mountains. Let's all stand.